All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to Andrew has a heated debate with the fraudulent witch. Jump in.
Two things here.
You're a witch? You're a witch?
I mean, I guess you could call me that if you wanted to.
Yeah,
but
you're
not,
a witch, of course. Yeah.
So,
artist.
what do you mean by
artist.
pull cards?
So tarot cards. So actually, I
tarot
have
cards,
a
okay.
deck of cards with my art. So like I do cards and I've created
Okay.
cards.
And then what's the stuff about the ancestors? What's that?
Oh, just like mediumship. So like
You're a
you
medium?
want to talk to your grandma, for example. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Talking to ghosts.
You do that shit?
I can do that. Yes.
So, do you mind if I inquire just a
Sure.
slight bit?
You can
as
ask
to
anything. I
the-
can't promise I know the answer, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, as to the efficacy of the witchcraft,
Sure.
do you have a spiritual guide, of course, that you refer to? And does that spiritual guide have a name?
So I would say I typically use, it's my Vegvaseer more than anything, which is like an internal compass. Spiritual guide, I have a close relationship with Jesus Christ. So I always say Jesus is my homeboy.
Wow.
So like I do have a close relationship with
The
him.
guy who tells you not to do witchcraft?
You know, I think one would argue that he was pretty talented himself, like in the craft.
No, he
but then
didn't.
there's-
He didn't practice witchcraft. The Bible's very specific about not practicing witchcraft, right?
Yeah, I unfortunately was not alive at that time, so I cannot state my
the cult.
experience.
That's the
but-
cult.
Well,
right
I
there.
mean, you
but
weren't
I
alive when
can-
Jesus Christ was around, but you seem to concede that
That's the real cult right there.
he existed.
I know the relationship I have with him today. That's what I can speak
Okay.
to.
I
you
thought
know,
that
like
there
I
were
can't
scriptures
speak to.
where
Yeah, I know.
it
Hang on.
states-
Let us finish our combo, please. Hang on. I'll let you jump right in, and we can tangle on this. But
Like I'm not like a spell.
I myself, I am a Orthodox Christian,
Yeah.
and I just want to let you know that unlike many Christians, not only do I not believe that witchcraft is real, and I think many Christians do, but I think that the efficacy of it, meaning how effective it is, I think it's a con. It's a complete con. I don't think that in any way, shape, or form it could ever be demonstrated. And here I'm going to give you an example of why I think this, why I'm skeptical of this. Is this the first time that you've ever met Maddie?
Met whom?
This Maddie would be the gal sitting right there. Is this the
Yes.
first time you've ever met her?
Yes, I've not met her.
Okay. How old is Maddie?
Maddie, how old are you?
No,
Say
no,
earlier.
no. How old? Hang on. My question to you is how old is Maddie?
How old is she? She's in her 20s, right?
Nope.
One's 18.
Nope.
How old?
Now I got to ask you. My next question is: are Maddie's parents together or not together?
So are you trying to like quiz me like a psychic? Is that what you're doing right now? I guess I'm confused. Like what you're? I don't know
Well,
her personally.
you
so
have an
I-
internal guide, and this internal guide gives you information about people's personal details. Correct?
It can. I mean, there's other steps that go into that. It's
Okay.
not
So
really
the
like a
part of it
circus
that can you give me any details about Maddie right this second, which are not vague but are actually specific?
That's not my craft, but I hear you.
Right.
Sidir is my craft. So that
I just want to let you know that there's no craft in which anybody has ever been able to do this, ever. And I'll tell you why I think that is. Now, I think it's because it's all bullshit.
Ah, damn.
But I'm sure that other people would have other kind of reasonings behind it. I just think that it's just completely fraudulent and untrue in every way. And that's why no psychic, nor witchcraft operator, nor any of these supposed spiritual gurus can actually give you any of these details. But diving into the type that you do when you're doing tarot cards, is it safe to assume that tarot cards can lead to very vague answers, which are designed in what is called a cold reading? The cold reading being that you're utilizing the tarot card in order to pump information.
To get information. Just to get information. I have here, you know, I don't know how they work, but I'm just imagining like they use very broad information. They might have a high percentage that you might be connected to that information, and then they start fishing for information.
Out of the person therefore making it sound like it's more and more specific, even though it's not.
Yeah, and I think you also encounter that with Myers-Briggs. I think you encounter that with astrology. I think most of those things are pretty vague, where it's easy to draw inferences from that. And again, your definition of witchcraft, like when you ask me if I'm a witch, and I'm like, sure, you can call me that. Again, I don't know that we're totally aligned in what that is, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing from your perspective.
Well, can I give you my definition of a witch?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
A witch is anybody who uses any type of the cosmos, the thing, the craft, the energy. The Jedi called it the Force, whatever you want to appeal to, as the energies which are around, in which you appeal to for answers to various questions and insights which you get from some internalized feeling. That would be witchcraft.
Okay, I can agree with that definition.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
agree
that's
with
when
that.
I say witch, that's what I'm referring to, right?
Yeah, like someone
It doesn't matter if you're,
work with
if you're
energy.
doing a spell, for instance. If you're doing a spell, you're appealing to some kind of energy. If you're doing tarot, you're appealing to some kind of energy, right? There's something there which is guiding some kind of like internalized compass so that you can have some answer to something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, when you do tarot cards, right?
Usually use them for myself. So like my preferred way to use them is like for a daily affirmation. So like I'll shuffle them and pull one, like just for myself to meditate on and kind of study for the day. And they're usually like some type of self-development kind of guide. That's the way that I use the tool. And there have been situations, like I said, where I've had people's like ancestors come and like interfere, and I've had to like use cards and
And how do they interfere? By the way, before you answer that, what type of deck do you use?
I have my own cards that I use currently, like made
Did
from
you
my artwork.
did you make them yourself?
Yeah, with my own artwork. It's artwork that I created like over the course of 4 years.
Did you model them off of another deck, or model them off of a different style, or model them off of something?
It's like the standard Rider-Waite
The
tarot,
standard
like
deck?
the standard
Okay.
Major Arcana.
Gotcha.
Kind of like a deck of.
Gotcha. And did you make them because you thought that they would have more efficacy if you did? They would be more powerful if you did?
No, I just made them because it's something I always wanted to create.
She looks so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable, my God. Like she's looking around like,
Like it's
Okay,
just something
gotcha.
I always wanted to create. It was one of the things I put on my vision board. Like one day I want to make one of these, so
see
I
how
did
she's
it.
looking around? Very nervous, like she's hiding something.
Gotcha. Okay, so you made them.
Let me just say something about the Mexican girl. You see how she's not laughing now? Y'all notice that? She's not laughing now?
Because it was fun,
Yes.
essentially.
Yeah, I think I was
Yeah,
into
okay.
it. I thought it was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah, that's
something that I
fair.
do for money. It's not something that I do like by any means like that. It's just something I thought it was cool. I got into. I grew
Got
a lot.
it.
As a
I
person.
just want to move
Yeah.
to the ancestors. How do these ancestors
Facts, I need to know.
disrupt the process?
I mean, I've had some interesting, like, tech gets disrupted a lot. So, like, a lot of technology disruptions. I've had, like, things physically, like, fall off of shelves. and
What
things behind me.
sorts of technology interruptions?
I mean, I've had screens just go blue screen.
Wi-Fi
before.
disconnection.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's hard to tell if Wi-Fi. I mean, again, like, you can't really prove it. It's just intuition. Like, you have to go off of timing on what you feel and, like, what's going on in the environment. It doesn't happen all the time, but there have been situations.
Well, if you're into that, well, let me just give her the benefit of the doubt, right? Let me just go there. Well, you're playing with fire. How is it that a lot of these people that like to play with fire, I just don't get it. It's like playing with the devil, right? If you let's say you don't believe Satan is real, right? But then you're trying to play with Satan's little games, right? Why do you want to do that? If you already know it's not real, but then you're trying to play with stuff that Satan's like, it's like, bro, like, does that make sense? Like, why are you trying to play with these things? Why are you trying to provoke certain things? All right, I don't know. It's not a heated debate, man. I think that's a little bit misleading. I think they went back and forth. She was pretty nice about some of the responses. However, when it comes down to witchcraft, it's hard to tell. Because some of this, you can say the horoscope, it's kind of witchy, if you ask me. It's very witchy. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.